Let us examine Trevon Diggs' future with the Cowboys. Also, are they getting closer to the teams out in front of him in the NFC East or further away? These are the things we examine in today's DLLS Cowboys podcast, which starts meow. What's up, everybody? Welcome into today's DLLS Cowboys podcast. It is nice of you to be here. We have many things to get into today, including Trevon Diggs' future, using some words from Jerry Jones himself. And we will examine, are the Cowboys getting closer to the top of the NFC East, or are they drifting further behind?
Jeremy! What's up, my guy?
Today's show I am dedicating to Gal Gadot and Kirsten Dunst. Just in case you guys are wondering. That's who I'm dedicating today's show to.
I don't know who Kirsten Dunst is. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
She's an actor. Who the other guy?
That's it. She's that. Both of them are actors.
Gal
Actresses.
Gadot.
Gal who?
Gal Gadot.
She was Wonder Woman.
She was Wonder Woman. Yes.
Never heard of Gal Gadot. Didn't watch Wonder Woman. I did see Halle Berry and Catwoman.
Never heard of Gal Gadot. I watched Man on Fire yesterday.
Oh.
I had already seen it. I remembered as I was watching it. I don't like the way it
But
ended.
did Joe watch it?
No, Joe didn't watch it. Hi, everyone. My name is Jeff. Next to me is former Cowboy wide receiver Jesse Holly.
Oh, Jesse Holly went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Wide receiver number 2, loading, baby. I'm loading.
Jesse's been doing some cardio. Get
Loading,
ready.
I
baby.
need you put that out there on Twitter that you get a name. Can we get some names?
It's
Nah,
him.
It's me. You
You.
press, you didn't. You did what they did. You didn't watch the video.
I didn't watch the video. You're right. Hey,
Lord Jesus.
I can't believe you never saw Bring It On, Clarence.
I did see Bring It On.
Then you know, you knew Kirsten Dunst. You didn't know.
Yeah, I know Kirsten Dunst.
Next to Jesse is the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Clarence Hill.
Club hop hop, where legends drop. Clarence Hill just can't stop. Breaking news, you gotta hop in Club hop hop.
And first of all, to Bring It On, I was rooting for the black girl, right? That was the hero of the
Why?
movie. Did you watch Bring It On?
Yeah.
Okay, we know who the hero of the movie was. Dwayne
I mean, I don't think
Dwayne
there
Wade's
are-
wife was the hero of the movie.
You know, Clarence, I think the best perspective is gained in life when you realize that the villain in your story is just a person trying their best.
That's fine. But Bring It On, we were rooting for, black school goes to the hood, we over that. Yeah,
Clovers?
that's what
You rooting for the Clovers?
Yes, rooting for the Clovers. So Joe got me wrong. Go back to Joe right quick.
What happened?
I pay your rent, baby. Come on, man. What's going on, man? I got my Uncle Daddy outfit on.
You do.
My Uncle Daddy outfit.
You do look like a
dogging?
sugar daddy today.
You dogging underneath that?
Got my Uncle Daddy outfit.
You dogging underneath that?
You're dogging, aren't you?
on. It might have some holes in it. Might got some holes. in
You
my
better
shit.
keep that thing together.
Got some holes in it.
Oh, man.
Thank you to Rodney in the super chat. And I'll have you know that that man right there, all-time discus record at LSU for about a decade until it was broken recently.
Discus?
Discus.
All right.
Longest throwing. Yeah. History of the
Randy
school.
Brown. Rodney Brown.
Rodney.
Excuse me. Rodney.
RB.
Okay. So we hadn't even had time to get messy because there was a draft.
Messy.
But yeah, when Jerry talks bad about his own players, we didn't even have time to take a moment and acknowledge Jerry taking shots at his own guys.
When you get older like Jerry, you don't have a filter. You kind of say what's on your mind.
You don't say.
I'm just saying, like
you
Jerry.
don't say.
No
no
like
way. No way.
in my
you
experience,
don't
that
say.
happens somewhere around 59. In my experience.
April-ish.
Because-
April-ish 59.
Listen, Jerry started the draft talking about Dak's money,
Yeah.
making Dak the scapegoat. You paid this guy for $60 million.
Yeah.
He said $60 million several times. Like, we know how much you paid him. You franchise. You can use a lot of words, but he threw that money out there. He gonna choke Dak with his contract.
Well, he's a whole psycho though, because he was also like, and then if that guy gets hurt, you don't have a backup, and pretending he didn't trade a 4th-round pick for Trey Lance. Like what you're doing right now is telling me that you made an awful trade, but you're just gonna blame Dak.
So you open a press conference, talking about Dak, and you end the press conference in the draft, the last day of the draft. I asked him about Diggs. You get Siobhan Revel and ask him about Diggs' future, and is Diggs gonna be ready to go? Because we've talked about it. And certainly, I was one of the first people to bring up the fact that they didn't like Diggs' rehab and the way he approached rehab the last time.
I like the way the fans stood behind Trevon Diggs and said, "Clarence, you're an idiot and you don't know what you're talking about."
Always,
yeah.
And then Jerry basically talked out of turn, I guess, so to speak. Some things you say behind closed doors, you don't say public about your players. Well, Jerry had no problem letting everybody know what the Cowboys felt about Diggs and how he approaches rehab.
That's set up.
We have a good idea. He's working hard. That's very important because if he will be very good and diligent as to his rehab process, then he'll get back quicker, and he will arrive when he does get back sounder than if he has not worked as hard. He's more subject to injury. He's learned that one time. So my point is, I have a lot of hope that his actual rehab and experience from the time before is really helping him out, and I think it has.
Basically said he didn't work hard the last time, and which we had sources tell us that they did not like how he approached his rehab. Certainly, Michael doubled down and talked about Diggs working outside the organization and doing things, and I think what Jerry's saying is how he approached his rehab the last time. Again, he was out most of 2023 with an ACL, spent all offseason rehabbing, and then re-injured his knee, different type of knee injury, most likely worse injury. And basically what Jerry's saying is it injured again because he didn't do the right thing the first time, which is what we talked about. He didn't approach it the right way the first time. And when you're paying a guy that kind of money, he signed a deal before the 2023 season to be one of the top paid cornerbacks. It brings into question his future. And that's kind of where we are, because there's a chance most likely he won't be on the field to start the season. Now we're out of these last 2 seasons, we're out of the guaranteed money. So the Cowboys could conceivably walk away from the contract after this season, especially when you have to pay Deron Blank, got to decide what his future is. And you don't know what Diggs is going to be like coming off 2 major knee injuries.
This is the Jerry Jones precursor special. When Jerry is going to make a move from what some may believe to be a fan favorite, a notable name, a popular player, they begin they plant these little seeds. They plant these little seeds and they say these little things, and what it is, it's a precursor to how they're going to snowball this thing. Now, Diggs can stop the snowball. He goes out there and he has a great season, and he's one of those 6, 7, 8, 9 interception type years. Then you got to just kind of eat your words and now, let him finish out his contract, because you don't want to get away with a play like that. But if Diggs isn't the player that he was right before he got the contract, this is the precursor of Jerry Jones. And what happens is he'll add more as we get along, and he'll add more, and Trevon Diggs will go from a beloved figure in the Cowboys organization, and then you'll start hearing about the sources that we heard about the rehab. Jerry will start talking about them more boastfully and more braggadocious. Then there'll be ways of he'll keep doubling down on that, and what'll end up happening is we'll get to the end of the season, and Diggs will be the scapegoat for however this thing goes, and we need to make some changes, and we're not feeling this, and we're not feeling that.
But let's be honest, that's part of why you look at the thirst need at cornerback, and you did trade for one back for Elam, but you double down for the position because you had he's insurance. Diggs you could walk away. Bland contracts up at the end of the year, and you got to decide on him, and so that's why Revel getting a cornerback was necessary.
You guys know how this is going to play out, right?
Yeah, I already know how it's going to play out because I remember when Diggs had those interceptions. leading the league, all the other stuff, and they were comparing him to Deion, and he broke the Everson Walls record. He was on top of the world. He was considered, people, they were talking about the yards he gave up, but he always had all those picks. And to go from that to now, to potentially being them walking away from him, that happened fast.
Life comes at you fast.
It would be way cooler if he came back from rehab and he was great, and then you had a corner who, as the market goes up, is still locked in for like 3 more years, and he's going to be awesome. Like, that'd be way better. And I think my opinion is mostly shaped by the last rehab and the fact that despite the fact that he had all those picks, he did not get a market-setting deal.
No.
Which is how you knew there was something
He got a team-friendly deal.
Like, what I always thought about Trevon Diggs is dude makes plays, dude gives up plays.
Right.
High risk, high reward player, that's it. And people get mad about that observation, but that's very real. Otherwise, the guy who's leading the league in picks, if he was also a shutdown player, he would have gotten all the money.
Right.
But he took below market because they both knew. And then with the rehab thing, like, it's always been in my mind that this will be his last year. They'll cut him after this season. It would be way cooler if he showed up and was a baller this season and you're like, holy crap, we have a really good corner for 3 more years.
But let's be honest about it. And we've talked about it. And you've had injuries and you played the game.
I've never had an injury.
There's no way he can be the best Diggs this year. I mean, it sounds good, but coming off back-to-back years of rehab, it's going to take another year for him to get stronger and confident to be that guy. He may go be that guy for somebody else after they get rid of him, but there's the chances are slim. Obviously, I'm not going to go out there and say they're not taking a guard, even though they was trying to take a receiver. They couldn't get the receiver, so they took a guard.
But
I'm not going to go out there.
Say if they can't get the receiver they want, then
I'm not going to go out there. Well, who knew Carolina was going? No one knew that. I mean, no, Carolina. I did not see that. Oh, you did?
Yeah,
I did not see Carolina taking a receiver in all of mock drafts. But anyway, so I'm not going to say he can't come back and be that player, but the odds are against him that he can be a difference-making player coming off back-to-back knee surgeries, coming off with a rehab that in the past was career-ending. When you're talking about what he's dealing with and coming back from,
ended my career.
Yeah.
Fracture.
So I just don't know if he can do that. It sounds good, but odds are against him being that guy this year. And then the Cowboys having to make a decision on his future and Deron Bland's future because Jared's not ready to pay that kind of money. So it'll be a shame though if they did let him go, and next year he's with the Eagles.
He'll be a hell of a commander.
Or he's with the Commanders.
He'll be a hell of a commander.
And he comes and he intercepting Trevon Diggs again.
The thing about playing DB, you hit on it. And I think what you're saying is right, but you hit on that. Diggs is he's high ceiling.
Yeah. He gives up a lot of plays.
You go get me, but I'm gonna get you.
He takes a lot of chances.
And the thing about being
and don't tackle.
The thing about being a DB is there are times where you can kind of fall into some interceptions. You know what I mean? Like there's some times where tip passes, go through your hands. You read one right and you go and get it.
My dog Skandrick never fell into him.
Because guys are running by him. That's
no,
why.
But they would hit him in the hands. I'm saying there was a time we had a lot of Cowboy cornerbacks who couldn't catch a cold butt naked in Alaska. Okay.
Yeah. So
Skandrick was busy complaining about where he got drafted 10 years later.
Awuzie, all of the Cheeto. I mean, none of them could catch. They would be right there about like, come on, catch the ball, do something. Byron Jones, great athlete,
couldn't catch.
No interception. Anyway, go ahead.
He forgot because you stopped him again. You said, never mind.
I forgot.
I'm sorry.
I forgot.
It's that age. Oh,
it's the age of the guy next to him who keep going when he was trying to say something.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cloud like, what's my next thought?
I know you had I know you got a Skandrick take, so I was trying to set him up too.
I got a Skandrick text?
Take.
Oh, take. He's a bad human.
Okay.
Damn. So where I was actually going earlier with, how this is going to end wasn't even about Diggs.
Yeah.
It was about the way that the Cowboys do stuff.
Uh-huh.
Deron Bland is about to go ham. And we're going to get to the offseason. They're going to be like, all right, here's that $18 million per. And he's going to be like, right, that's 35.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, we don't understand.
It was 18 last year when you could have signed me.
And that's what's crazy because they could get Deron Bland, a 5th-round pick, would take $18 million right now.
He's about to go ham.
He would take that right. Talking about getting out ahead of the contract like the Eagles, get ahead of Bland.
But I think they're paralyzed. I think they're paralyzed because anything below the no doubters the ones that they have chosen to get that done with, a lot of them have blown up on them. And so now they do want to be so sure that even the ones that we all know it's getting done, they're like, oh, I don't know, that other contract that we signed with Lyle Collins, really, we better be careful here. And it's like, it's CeeDee Lamb, dude. It's Micah. Write the check. But we'll see how all that goes. We'll knock out some of these supers. We do have Fran Duffy coming up at 11:30, recapping some NFL draft stuff. Are the Cowboys getting closer or further away from the teams at the top of the East? That is next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Do you like grilled meats? What about smoked meats?
Oh,
What about all of the sauce on the meats?
I like sausage.
You like sausage?
Yeah.
What about in the bun?
I love a bun
And a hot dog?
and a hot dog.
Is hot dog considered barbecue?
No.
It doesn't matter. But you can head on down to Lone Star.
Oh, you ain't smoking a hot dog. You
You
could.
can smoke a hot dog. Smoke happening at AT&T Stadium May 2nd through 4th. Barbecue and country music. What's more Texas than that?
Nothing.
Country bigger stars like Cody Jinks, John Party, like Party Too Hardy.
Yeah, Party.
I like it. And Midland will be performing.
Beyonce gonna be there?
No, Beyonce's doing the Cowboys tour. She's a Cowboy Carter tour.
She's the biggest star in the country right now.
She did win the award. Kids under 10 get in free and general admission. Tickets are starting at $68. Do not miss out. Get your tickets at LoneStarSmokeout.com.
Shout out to our friends at Lucy as well. Lucy, it's 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco-free. Lucy's what I keep in my pocket at all times. They're nicotine pouches. And the breakers, the Lucy breakers, have an extra surprise. Every pouch has a little capsule in it that can be broken open. It releases a little extra flavor and hydration for you. You can set yourself up with a subscription and have Lucy delivered straight to your door. I love my Lucy. I like the berry blend. I like the wintergreen. I like the mint. I pretty much like all the flavors. It's like bubble gum, except it's 100% nicotine right there in my face. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to lucy.co/DLLS. Use our promo code DLLS. You get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, that's lucy.co. You use the code DLLS, you get 20% off. They got pouches, they got breakers, they got gum, they got all the things you could possibly want. And here's the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age. Every order is age verified. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. It's the DLLS Cowboys podcast, segment number 2. Let's knock out some super chats. We're going to talk about if the Cowboys are getting closer or further away from the top teams in the NFC East. I want to know what you think in the chat. You're getting closer, you're getting further away. Christian's in the super chat. First-time live viewer and new diehard.
Welcome.
Let's go.
Welcome.
Hey.
Silva!
What is he? What if he's lying?
Silva!
If he's lying,
Well, yeah, what if he's lying? What,
That's
you
between
can't
him and-
just have a club pop song if you
Okay,
didn't sign up.
when it
Finish
gets to the heavens gates,
Yeah.
we sending them
Finish the tweet because
No.
it's a great tweet. Finish the comment.
You guys genuinely have the best chemistry in the game.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to cut you off. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about. You gonna leave me hanging?
Jesse.
You gonna leave the bro hanging? You gonna leave Unk Dog hanging? You gonna leave Unk Dog hanging? You gonna leave Unk Dog hanging? Come on now.
I really wanted you to give it here and not there at all. Only sports podcast that genuinely makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Like Pop said, no filter. Night 405's in the super chat. They are so serious about creating competition. They drafted a hurt corner to compete with Diggs and Rehab.
That's it right there. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's a
Night.
good one. That's a good one right
That's
there.
the Blue Star Special, baby.
That one. That's the winner right
Normally
there.
it's a second-round pick that was going to be a first-round pick. This time it was a third-round pick that I think might have been a second-round pick, but everybody else says it was going to be a first-round pick, whatever.
Thunder.
Captain Thunder's back, baby.
That Canadian money.
It says, greedy Dak, blah, 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 blah. My favorite part is that he says, Jesse, keep speaking the truth on greedy Dak.
What did I say?
You're a Dak hater.
how did I
You're a
get-
Romo guy. You're a Dak hater.
Jesse will occasionally have something almost somewhat constructively criticism about Dak, which the Dak hater takes as one of us.
Yeah.
Dan's in the super chat. Just think about that four-round comp pick we're getting for Bland.
2
Trade
years.
that bad boy away for a wide receiver that they had a high draft grade on. Lather, rinse, repeat. Damn.
Y'all cooking today.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
Y'all
that's
cooking
good,
in the
that's
chat
good, that's good.
today.
Nobody gonna let Jerry make it.
Can I? I
That was
got
good.
one more thing on Diggs. We were talking about the decline of his career and where
Yeah,
we
we're
are.
actually done with Diggs, so we're just gonna move on. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I cannot get past the 49er game. At the 49er game 2 years ago in San Francisco.
I don't remember that game.
Yeah, the one where CD played, not CD, where Zeke ended the game at center and ended his career at center.
That's so awesome.
And Dak had the 2 offensive interceptions, and of course the running back got hurt on that tackle.
I'm glad Zeke came back after that to the
but-
Cowboys to get his legacy
What
right.
people overlooking that game was a play at the end of the half where Diggs,
Close his eyes.
first of
When he
all,
closed his eyes.
he wouldn't tackle the tight end.
Close his eyes against George Kittle.
Tackle. It's third down. You're off the field. That was it was a one score. People act like the Cowboys got blown out. They weren't competitive. It's a 1 score game. That was the difference in the game. But not only did he not make the tackle and close his eyes, if he just touches him because it's a tip ball, there's no way Kittle catches the cat. They get off the field. Later in that drive, he had an interception. Hit it right here. Okay, to me, if you're not gonna tackle, catch the damn ball. If you're not gonna tackle, then be who you're supposed to be.
Did Jerry call you?
Catch the damn ball.
Jerry call you this morning?
Can we talk?
I just asked
Is it
him, why,
saying-
you going back some years to take a shot at Diggs for no reason?
Because
That is
we don't forget these plays that can change the franchise.
You want some water?
You know, no, it would have been different. You go back to 80, I go back to 81 when the catch was made on Everson Walls. We forget that the Cowboys got the ball back and Drew Pearson was within a horse collar of winning that game.
I do forget because my parents didn't make love until 3 years later.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is plays happen in games that ultimately are not the game decided. They could have been the game decided. It could have been difference in the game, but we only remember the other. We remember Zeke, playing center and Dak throwing interception and obviously Tony Pollard getting hurt. But Diggs, who is supposed to be that guy who coming off a year when he has 13 interceptions, okay, we understand you don't want to tackle. But if you're not going to tackle, catch the damn ball.
Where you going at Diggs today? You might.
I'm just having.
I'm going to take some shots at people too.
You might.
like to take
I was literally about to say
that
like, you got these nuts
That's a
coming your
football
way.
player.
You got a
Okay,
these nuts coming your way.
Am I talking crazy? Tell me I'm talking crazy.
If
Tell
you
me
don't
I'm
mind-
wrong.
No, if you don't mind.
Tell me I'm wrong, Jesse. You in the locker room. I'm not there. Tell me I'm wrong. Thank you.
I'm going to swerve across 6 lanes of traffic and say DeMarco Murray shouldn't have fumbled in that playoff game either. Patrick Creighton should have caught the ball.
All that's true.
Miles Austin should have kept running. I don't even remember if that's the right player. Romo threw a ball down the field and somebody quit running. It was like, wait, you were going to
Lost it on the lights, right?
yeah, something like that. Yeah,
But all that's true. I'm just saying that we get bogged down in pinning things on things. There's so many plays in the game that could have been a difference maker in the game, and we forget that. That's all. And like I said, I was one of the people that were comparing him to Dion when he was catching all the interceptions and thinking he was going to be a great player. So I was high on Diggs and where he could be and end up in Cowboys' career. So I'm not hating. We're just talking. Can we talk? Can we talk? People, can we talk? Are we not adults?
Answer, Clarence. Can we talk? Are the Cowboys getting closer or further away from the top of the NFC East? That is my question for you, and it's my question for you in the chat. I like what the Cowboys did in the draft. When you combine the draft and the fact that they signed a bunch of human people, NFL, I don't know what to say about free agency. They signed some people, though. If you look at their offseason and you look at the other offseasons, and if anybody needs some help on what other teams did in the draft, I do have it for you for the entire East. Are the Cowboys getting closer or further away than they were when the season ended?
Further away.
Damn. Come on, man.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess this is my hair take of the day.
Oh, crap.
I'm
Captain Thunder, strap in, buddy. Your guy's about to make you proud.
Captain Thunder. I'm over here tweeting in between. And maybe not gotten further, but parked. They didn't close the gap. Because guess what? Philadelphia also got first-round picks. The Giants also got first-round picks. Washington also got first-round picks and second-round picks and got good value and got good players. The New York Giants got the best pass rusher, one of the guys that you said, a franchise-changing player. Right? We didn't get a franchise-changing player. We didn't get a
Because you got a guard.
We got a
Damn.
You got a guard.
we got a
guard.
solid player. We didn't get an impact player, a player that's going to change the trajectory of a team. We got one a couple of years ago when we got Michael Parsons, and now we have like the second coming of him in New York. And these are two teams that were better than you last year. So they are adding, no, not the Giants, but the Eagles and Washington. they are adding just the same amount of picks that you have, and they were leaps and bounds better than you last year.
And I will be quick and brief because are we up against it? No, I'm adding wrong. I don't think 15? I saw 25. I'm thinking 30.
15.
I know. My bad.
30,
my bad.
45, 47. Sorry.
I think the Giants close the gap. I think the Cowboys. I've said it. I think they're the second best team in the NFC. They split with the Washington football team with Cooper Rush at quarterback. And I know they got to the final. They got to the NFC Championship game. I don't mean nothing.
It doesn't?
No.
So why do we keep
But isn't
talking?
that where we're trying to get?
Why do we keep talking about our team?
Because you know what's going to happen? When the Cowboys get the NFC Championship game, we're going to say, they ain't been to the Super Bowl since 95. Because that's really where we at. No one, listen, they do not hang NFC title game banners at AT&T Stadium.
We might need
They do not hang title game banners.
I have been on record on multiple shows, on multiple platforms, and I've said this many times. It is Super Bowl or nothing. It is Super Bowl or you fail.
That's what it is. It's not title game.
But we're not going to just blow by if they get to the NFC Championship game.
Listen, we're going to move the goalposts like we've been moving the goalposts.
No.
If the goalpost is a Super Bowl, that's the standard. If they don't get to the Super Bowl, we're not going to give them credit for hanging around the rim and going to the title game. I do think they're the second best team in the NFC East. I think they're better than Washington. They went to the title game. They're damn to beat Washington with Cooper Rush twice with their nice quarterback. So did they close the gap on the Eagles? No. I think the Giants, I think the whole NFC East came close together because I do think the Giants, who've been god-awful, have gotten better. But the NFC title game, I mean, that's not the goal here in Dallas.
Let me ask you this question. If you had to do a spatial gap recognition, did the Cowboys get closer to the Eagles or did the Giants get closer to the Cowboys?
Giants got close to the pack. Yeah, got close to the Cowboys.
So the Eagles are still up here.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys are here.
Yeah.
And you're saying the Giants got closer here.
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion, what do you think, Joe?
Well, I got to try to math out my things here because I think the Giants are going to win like 6 games. Dallas and Washington are both 8-10, and Philly is going to win 13-15.
And keep in mind, we've done this model since 2004.
Playoffs. And most kids in that situation chases the bag. They go and get the bag, they go and get the money, and they leave. For him to stay, like, that tells me that that's a dude who cares about his teammates, his coaching staff, and is sold out for the program. Now, agree with it or not, that does show a level of character that I find admirable.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had that character.
And I probably wouldn't have either.
Probably still not today.
Well, today, maybe.
Like if there was a different place across the street and they were like, what if we gave you 3 times as much? I'd be like,
I'm out.
Well, I mean, but it's just like and just like the kid that went from, I guess, an Ole Miss this year, a cornerback who was
Trey Amos.
He jumped twice.
Washington Commander.
You know, he got drafted, and so sometimes you change, not necessarily for the money, but for the opportunity to prove yourself on a higher level, so you get drafted higher. You know, obviously, Revel didn't have to do that. His injury really, because even if he stays in East Carolina, he's going to be number one pick. But a lot of these guys, they move